Hey ladies and gentlemen, what's up? It's Papa Bale and welcome to the channel. I'm here cooking some bacon on the stove. That's awesome. Man, this stuff smells great. So what am I doing? I do two hobbies specifically. I make pulse motors. And I don't even really consider them pulse motors. They're just DC brushless motors. I mean, I guess somewhat. Sometimes I build pulse motors when I'm collecting energy or reusing, recycling energy. Then I would consider it a pulse motor. Other than that, it's just a DC brushless motor. Runs on a battery till the battery runs out, basically, or power supply, and it never runs out because it's really on a nuclear reactor at that point. All right, but hey, no, that's not why I'm saying this. I am saying that if you want to build these things, you should start from a foundation of knowledge. So do your research. I'll throw a few names out there where you could start. Adams, Bedini, Newman, uh, you know, all these types of motors. And then there's Faraday, Michael Faraday, uh, law of induction, key to running a magnetic induction motor. These are standard DC brushless motors. You put DC electricity in, you get kinetic energy out, and AC energy out of the coil, and you can get DC energy out of the transistor. Okay, and these energies don't recombine very well. They don't. So you want to use your pickup coil energy or your coil energy for one thing, and you're going to want to use uh, your Bedini-esque coil or transistor extension to like run another motor or something. So like you use the one for lights, you use the coil energy to light up a light bulb easily, and then you use the energy extension off the collector to run another motor. Now, is it your motor that's... No, it's all coming from your source power. So if your idea is to get rid of the source power, good luck. I've tried a few experiments. It doesn't matter what your source power really is. It doesn't matter. Capacitor, battery, your arm, your source power. What? Yeah, if you don't, I want to see a, a coil run a motor. That's what I want to see. Then I'll be satisfied. I want to see that. I want to see me spin it with my hand and then have the energy from the pickup coil run the motor. I think that is the only thing that will satisfy me, and that's why I gave up. You know, that's why I kind of gave up on it, because the reality of the situation is that what I want to see is never going to happen because of the laws of physics. So, you know, I gave up just wanting to see that altogether. It's like, why even, you know, continue to want to see that if it's never going to be seen? And I literally mean have your pickup coil be the power supply on the same wheel for the transistor that's running that motor. It can't be done. The way I just described it cannot be done. Now, there's probably different variations of or ways you could do this. And that's cool, but that's something different altogether. I just got done saying, you make the most minor alteration to the size of your coil or anything in your circuit that you made the diagram of, and you've completely changed everything. Everything changes. With these pulse motors, especially if you're trying to do one that's exact, I like giving myself some slack, some room to wiggle. I don't necessarily devise its purpose if it's going to have a purpose, even. Sometimes its only purpose is to satisfy my desire to see something spin. Sometimes that's its only purpose. you know and those videos and those motors and stuff, that's not about you, that's about me, and I like it, and I share it with people, and if they don't like it, that's cool. If they like it, that's awesome too. I'm going to continue to share it even though there's no real purpose for it. Why? Because I don't know. I started sharing stuff a long time ago. Some of it had a purpose, some of it didn't. And I enjoy doing that. So I'm going to continue to do that as long as I can. Yeah, I don't know about all that. I mean, I do say that even though you can make a pulse motor on paper and do it all mathematically in your head, why would you do that? And you can only do that with like a pulse motor that is to the T, following the instructions on the build. And what fun is that? What fun is that at all? I mean, the first one, if you do your first one like that, that's cool. But the second one should be more you. You know what I'm saying? It should be more you and less Adams, less Bedini. It should be less of what's already out there and more what you want it to be. I mean, you should always give credit where it's due, and I do. Maybe I don't say, I don't know. I don't know. And honestly, I don't even think I can give credit to like Bedini for what I'm doing. I mean, I will. I'll say this is a Bedini-esque transistor connection. There's no resistance in it. That automatically doesn't makes it not Bedini. So I don't know. I don't know how to express it. It's mine, but it's, I can't say it's mine because other people would so easily be able to do this. So it's ours. It's ours. It's not anybody else's. It's ours. Four more pieces. Four more pieces of bacon. I've always struggled with that. People are like, what's the purpose, man? What does it do? What is it used for? Well, I've just proved that you don't need to know any of that to build one of these things. You really don't. And a lot of people, I think, do build it the way I build it, from like the build it first and then develop its purpose later. And I think that's actually harder to do. So it requires more brain power to do it that way than to have it already all ready before you actually do it. And I don't know. It requires more brain power in different steps of the process. So like when you're actually out there cooking the bacon, right? You got to have some skills in cooking. But when you're purchasing the right bacon at the store, you got to have different set of skills. Okay, it's like that. So what is it? What is a pulse motor? For me, it's a great relaxation tool. As long as your transistor is firing, you can just mess around with stuff. I mean, I got my 9-magnet rotor on there right now, and it generates about 80 volts of DC on top of illuminating the LED, which is a 1,000-watt equivalent, a metal halide. So it's about 100. Say it's about 100-watt light bulb strength. You gotta put 80 in to get, as bright as it is. I don't really know what's going on when it's doing that. Uh, it'll start lighting up at around 65 volts when it's on. And sorry, I gotta flip this real quick. So it'll start to light up at 65 volts, and then it'll be really bright at 80. But when you turn it off, the voltage goes up, like way up to like 100, 150. So you know that it's doing something. The light is definitely siphoning off some of that energy from the cat bank to light the light. And it's like a saturation thing. So what it's doing is it's getting flooded, and then the excess flood lights the light bulb. There's like a foundation flood. I can see it happening, but I can't really explain it very well. But I think it's due to the saturation issue that I'm talking about. Because that coil, the pickup coil, it spins, the wheel spins, it generates the electricity, and it maintains based on how fast it's going. So it'll continue to increase, and then it'll maintain based on that speed. So if it goes any slower, it'll decrease. And if you take any, so we hooked the light up to it, and then we ran the light, and it siphoned off, 50 volts. So let's call it a 50-volt light bulb. I'm not trying to, and when I say twitchy, I mean, I don't mean it in a negative way. I think it's really good to be meticulous. So that's all I got. Thank you very much. Peace out. Have a wonderful day. Please subscribe. Bye now.